Assalamu alaikum. Boy, it feels good to be in Boston, Massachusetts. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that irregardless to land, language, or label, creed, class, color, race, religion, or ritual, that there is but one God. That there is but one God. That there is but one God. We thank that one God for Moses. We thank him for Jesus. We thank him for Muhammad. But as soldiers here in the wilderness of North America that have been kidnapped and Caucasianized and westernized for 400 years, we also are thankful to Almighty God, Allah, for soldiers like Nat Turner. We're thankful to Allah for soldiers like Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Denmark Vesey, Gabriel Prosser, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, Noble Drew Ali. Is that right? But we wouldn't be talking about none of those men or women were it not for a man named Master Farad Muhammad, who left paradise in the holy city of Mecca, traveled 9,000 miles all by himself. A man that laid out in his demonstration the greatest love story ever told. No, the greatest love story ever told is not Romeo and Juliet. It's not Jay-Z and Beyonce. It's not Will and Jada. The greatest love story ever told is when a man left paradise to come and seek and save a people that were lost in the wilderness of North America. And that man is Master Farad Muhammad. We thank him for coming among us and raising up in our midst his messenger and Messiah, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we thank the two of them today for preparing one that sits in his seat. He is without a shadow of a doubt a divine leader, teacher, and guide for us. I'm speaking of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It's in the holy and righteous names that I greet you, my brothers, my sisters, in the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. To this great, great pioneer, trailblazer, and warrior minister that you have in Minister Don Muhammad. We are so thankful to Allah for his decades of service, decades of sacrifice. What a great jewel and gem we have in this beautiful, beautiful. Y'all can do better than that for Minister Don. We thank Allah for his service, his sacrifice. We thank Allah for his wife, his family, and for all of the many years that he's been trailblazing in this great city. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has sent us here because Boston is one of the most important cities in the successful organization of the gathering of Justice or Else 1010 in Washington, D.C. You didn't hear me. 20 years ago, a black man from the wilderness of North America was used as a tool and an instrument of God himself to call for 1 million black men to come to Washington, D.C. Whenever he put the call out, Negro organizations and butt dance and bootlicking preachers came out the woodwork, and they began to say that Farrakhan, how you gonna do it on a Monday? That's a work day. Come on now. But Farrakhan called 1 million black men on a Monday, and nearly 2 million black men showed up. Some of the butt dancing and the bootlicking, Reverend Porkchop and Bishop Hogmaw, Pastor Liverleg. Some of them came out the woodworks and said, Farrakhan, how are we going to have a march without it being sponsored by Miller Genuine Drive? How are we going to put on a march without Chrysler backing us up? Farrakhan said we will not ask for not one dime from any white philanthropic organization or any white corporation. We will fund our own movement. And 20 years ago, we had the Million Man March. Farrakhan, when we called for 1 million black men to show up, nearly 2 million showed up, and there was no free hot dogs. I think that deserves a round of applause right there. I said there was no free hot dogs. There was no naked women performing on the stage, and 2 million men still showed up. Well, this time, 20 years later, on 10/10/15, the cry is not what it was yesterday, atonement, reconciliation, and responsibility. We've been there, done that. Bought the t-shirt, cut it up, and made a bow tie out of it, or a headpiece. This year our cry is justice, justice, justice. And when we go this time, we're not going to play no games. We're going on 10, 10, 15 because we're saying to the world that enough is enough. We are sick and tired of being sick and tired. We are tired of scrolling down our timeline on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We're tired of turning on the television and seeing on the news every other day, if not every day, a young black man being shot down and murdered in the streets by the Ku Klux Klan, aka the police department. We're tired of seeing the Ku Klux Klan murder our brothers in the streets and now our sisters in the street. We're tired of scrolling down our timeline on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, or turning on the news and seeing a young black male killed by another young black male. Enough is enough. We're sick and tired of being sick and tired. So we are going to tell the United States government that we love our children the same way white folks love their children. And we will not allow any racist, Confederate-minded cracker police officer to continue to come through the hood patrolling and harassing and then gunning down an innocent young black boy that hasn't had a chance to reach his full potential. And after you shoot our little brother, you put a stolen weapon in his hand that you got out of your trunk, or some dope that you got out of your trunk, and you say that he was trying to kill you. No, we're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Many say that whenever we tell the enemy that we want you to stop killing us, they say, well, you know black people are killing black people. And you got a point. It is the truth. However, when Ray Ray kills Tyrone, Tyrone is dead and Ray Ray gets life in prison. Am I telling the truth? But when Officer McGillicuddy kills 19-year-old unarmed Tyrone with 25 witnesses and 5 videotapes, Officer McGillicuddy never gets arrested. He never gets prosecuted. He never goes before the judge nor before the jury. In fact, they give him paid administrative leave. And the next thing you know, a GoFundMe account is resurrected. And before long, the other Confederate-minded white people that think like him have put millions of dollars in his account. Then he lands a book deal. Then he quits the police department and gets a job in the private sector, making more money than he used to make as a police officer. So because there is absolutely unfair, unequal treatment in the justice system, we are going to tell the world, either you going to give us justice or we got an or else waiting on you. Everywhere we go, my dear sisters and brothers, the biggest thing that people are wanting to know after the lecture is done, after the session has been finished, after the town hall meeting has concluded, is what is the or else.
That's right.
And unfortunately, the place that we are asking this or else comes from a place not of genuine concern to know what I can do as my part, but it comes out of the mind of being afraid of the slave master or the slave master's children.
You know what? You know you talking.
Therefore, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said it right, and it still stands true. In his monumental and illuminating book, Message to the Black Man, on page 94, paragraph 3, he, Dr. Elijah Muhammad, diagnoses the patient, black people in America, to find out what our #1 problem is.
Come on now.
And he said when he searched for the #1 problem that is stopping the rise and salvation of us as a people, he didn't say it was the Illuminati. He didn't say it was the Bilderbergers. He didn't say it was the Committee of 300 or the 8 royal families. He didn't say it was the CIA, the FBI, ATF, or Homeland Security.
Come on now.
He said that fear is the #1 enemy.
That's right.
Stopping our rise and salvation as a people.
That's right.
Fear is an acronym, brothers and sisters.
Come on now.
You know what an acronym is, don't you? An acronym is a word that each letter represents another word.
Well, come on with it.
An acronym. Like
Break it down, break it down.
CIA.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
CIA is an acronym.
Yes.
It stands for the Cocaine Import Agency.
That's right.
It's an acronym. FBI is an acronym.
Do your research.
FBI stands for Finding a Black Man to Incarcerate. No, I'm serious now.
That's right.
Job is an acronym. Job means you just over broke. Huh? Luck is even an acronym.
Come on now.
No, you can't be lucky with no four-leaf clover or no rabbit's foot on your keychain. How could a rabbit's foot on your keychain give you good luck? When the rabbit that they got the one from used to have 4. And he couldn't have been too lucky for you to have one of them. No, luck comes when you labor under correct knowledge. That's an acronym.
Yes.
Y'all still all right? Media is an acronym. Media, the most effective devil in America. It's an acronym.
Come on now.
And except for my brother that's here from the NAACP has been an acronym too. Negroes always asking Caucasians permission. I mean, it's just what it has been now. So fear is false evidence appearing real. That's why they tell us there's nothing to fear but what? Fear itself. So when the or else is put out there, the first thing that comes from a brother that lacks the backbone, that lacks the testicular fortitude, or that sister that does not possess the ovarian audacity, the first thing that comes up from the fearless ones is what does or else mean? Or else has always been the way of God. Every messenger, warner, or prophet that has ever come has always came and they have demanded justice. Justice during the time of Lot, when people had become freaks of nature, men with men, women with women, and engaged in all types of freakishness. Lot came out and told the people, stop what you're doing, or else. And the or else during the time of Lot was hot lava rock falling from heaven, burning up the two twin cities, Sodom and Gomorrah. During the time of Noah, when every imagination of the heart was bent on evil, Noah came and told the people to cut it out, or else. During the time of Noah, his or else was a flood was going to come. During the time of Moses, he was given a definition of justice. He was told to go to Pharaoh and say, Pharaoh, let my people go. We need something like that to happen right now. What y'all think? However, black people, we are so intertwined and interdependent on our 400-year-old slave master that the cry of a modern-day Moses today is not, Pharaoh, let my people go, but my people, let Pharaoh go. They been let us go. We hold on. My people, let Pharaoh go. Whenever Moses went and told Pharaoh, let my people go, that was his definition of justice. And since Pharaoh did not let the people go, we start seeing God lay down some or else. Is that right? The first or else, he turned water into blood. The next or else, he brought frogs into the land. Next thing you know, gnats and lice showed up. Then flies came as an or else. Is that right? You seen the livestock began to die off. Darkness began to cover the land, and the last or else that Moses' God gave Pharaoh at that time was death to Pharaoh and his army. So when we say or else, we are coming up in that very line of divine. When Farrakhan says or else, he's speaking from the prophetic utterance of the Supreme Being. Therefore, just as it was during the time of Lot, Noah, and Moses, whenever the government did not respond to justice, then or else began to be administered. So brothers and sisters, gird up your loins. Don't get sad because America is falling. Get happy that the God of justice is going to exact retribution on our behalf. Why in the hell are we tripping over the fall of America? We already at the bottom anyway. Well, if an object is falling and you already at the bottom, it ain't for you to get sad. It's for you to get out the way and let the thing fall. And y'all understand what I'm trying to say? So the God of justice is going to administer somewhere else.
That's right.
But then, sisters and brothers, we've got a role to play too.
That's right.
I don't know about you, but as you began to become conscious and you began to learn the true history of slavery, when you learned that they came to Africa and they murdered wholesale 13 million Africans on Africa before they even put us on a slave ship. How did you feel, black man and woman, when you learned that in the Middle Passage they killed another 100 to 200 million? So many of us were murdered and thrown overboard that sharks now follow the same route as the transatlantic slave trade, because it's built in their DNA that food was coming. Then when we got to America, they murdered another 83 million of us. We were Jim Crow, weren't we? We were black coded. We were burned at the stakes. We were lynched. And as we began to look, every time we seen our history, if we found ourselves, either we were a slave, or if we found the revolutionary, they either killed him or her or broke their movement. And anybody that has any love for the people, when you look at what we've suffered as a people, you and I should be scooting to the edge of our seat, rubbing our hands together, licking our lips, waiting for the opportunity to retaliate on behalf of our ancestors that were killed by the United States of America. So, or else, it's not for us to go out and fight and kill nobody.
No. Make it plain.
However, Dr. King said it like this in 1968 as he began to mature.
That's right.
See, they don't like to tell us about our great leaders. They like to isolate them and limit them to slogans and cliches. So all we know about Malcolm X is by any means necessary. And all we've learned about Dr. King is that he had a dream. What we don't realize is that after he met with the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, he was graduating and evolving from a dreaming integrationist to becoming a wide-awake revolutionary. Study the last 2 years of Dr. King. And Dr. King said, man, we've been laying in, we've been striking, we've been sitting in, we've been letting dogs bite our women and being water hosed down. He said, this ain't working. He said, I'm telling you, we in pain. And we've got to find a way to redistribute the pain. So Dr. King began teaching on retaliation. Not fighting physical to the enemy, but he was talking about economic withdrawal. You didn't hear me. This is the God of this world. Did y'all hear me? And on the dollar, each one of them, it tells you in God we trust. You think the white man ain't talking about your God. No, when he says God, he's talking, it's another acronym. It stands for gold, oil, and drugs. In gold, oil, and drugs, they trust. But if we can stop giving them this little paper, just for an isolated period of time, then we in fact will be able to strike a blow to the destruction of the idol of this world, which is mammonism or capitalism or the dollar that they worship. Okay, nobody don't seem to be with me. See, let me say something to us, brothers and sisters. We the only people on the planet that blame the white man for 95% of our problems, but still spend 97% of our money with them. Did y'all hear me? We are the leaders in unnecessary spending. What is unnecessary spending? Unnecessary spending is spending money that you don't have to buy stuff you don't need from people that you don't even like to impress that you don't even people you don't even know. We gotta cut it out. Did you know in the Jewish community that a dollar circulates in that community 7 to 10 times before it leaves? But Minister Don has showed us economics over his 60 years of soldiering, and in his mathematical calculation and observation of Boston and America, we found that the dollar in black Boston, the dollar in black New York, the dollar in black Connecticut only circulates 1/10 of one time. I don't even think y'all call that circulate. Because to circulate, you got to make at least a, what, circle? But 1/10 of one time ain't a circle. That's not even a whole lap around the track. That's a 100-yard dash.
Come on now.
Are y'all with me? So from 10, 10, 15 on forward, the code of economic distribution of black dollars should be shop with your brother before you shop with another. Shop with your brother before you shop with another. And on the biggest shopping day of the year, which is the day after Misgiving Day. They call it Thanksgiving Day, but it's Misgiving Day. Because it was a trick that the Pilgrims did on the Indians on that day. On the biggest shopping day of the year, the day after Thanksgiving, White Friday. I know they call it Black Friday, but black people ain't never got no money on Black Friday. It's always white people get money on it. Come on now. On the biggest shopping day of the year, which starts Christmas spending, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has asked you and me to strike a blow for our ancestors. To strike a blow for the 83 million killed during slavery. To strike a blow for the 200 million killed in the Middle Passage. To strike a blow for the 13 million murdered wholesale. To strike a blow for the breaking of Marcus Garvey's movement. For the assassination of Dr. King and the assassination of Malcolm X. God, through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, has said, you know what? You know what y'all can do, black people? Withhold your dollar. And let's give Christmas back to Jesus. And take it away from an imaginary fat white man that lives in the North Pole who ain't nothing but a pedophile anyway. Oh, yes, he is. Jolly old Saint Nick is a pedophile. He's a child molester. You don't believe me? Where does your baby take a picture with Santa? At the mall. They don't stand next to Santa or behind Santa. They put the baby where? Right on the left. Look into the song we see. You better watch out. Come on now, you better not cry. Because Santa Claus is what? Now check this out. He knows when you sleeping.
And the stop.
How the hell you know all that if you ain't a peeping Tom? He knows when you are. He's a pedophile. Do you know they call him Saint Nick? And the ST is an abbreviation not just for saint, but I'm looking across the street. And ST is an abbreviation for street. On an application, ST is an abbreviation for state. ST is also an abbreviation for Satan. The word Nick in its Latin root means evil one or devil. That's why if you take the name Santa Claus and move the end to the end, it becomes Satan, and drop the L, it becomes cause. Santa Claus represents Satan's cause. Did y'all hear me? So we taking it back from Santa Claus, and we gonna give it back to Jesus. And don't you know that if we can hold our dollar from White Friday all the way to Kwanzaa? Did y'all hear me? Can I tell y'all a secret? Y'all do know that everything goes on sale anyway after Christmas, right? No, I'm just keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. I said, did y'all know everything goes on sale?
Come on.
Yes, sir.
Everything.
Most of the time the stuff is 50% off. So if you can just hold out for about 2 weeks, you can get it for cheap. Are y'all with me? Y'all okay? Y'all with me?
We got it.
We got the ability, brothers and sisters.
We got the ability.
And we are living in this dispensation of time. And I don't know about you, but every time that any one of us study history and we read about the great ones that have gone forth in the past, I don't know about you, but when I look at them, I always say that had I lived during that time, I would have been walking with those soldiers. Did you say that too?
Yes.
I said, man, if I had been back during the time of Jesus, I would have been the 13th disciple.
That's right.
Had I been back during the time of Moses, it would have been Moses, Aaron, Joshua and me. If I'd have been back doing with Martin Luther King, I would have been with Dr. King.
Come on now.
If I'd have been back during the time of Malcolm X, he'd have been on one side of the mirror with a shotgun, and I would have been on the other side of the mirror, window with my Desert Eagle. But I would have been on that. Had I lived during the time of Harriet Tubman in the Underground Railroad, while she had that shotgun on her brother, I'd have been right beside her with my 38. Didn't you say that too? Well, if we say
Yes, sir.
that we would have been with the great ones in the past
Come on now.
that are now dead and gone, yet when you see Farrakhan, I see the vision of Marcus Garvey, I see the eloquence of Dr. King, I see the liberation theology of Moses, I see the spirit of love and compassion of Jesus, and we see the revolutionary spirit of Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Nat Turner, Denmark, Vesey, all bottled in one human being. Well, today, brothers and sisters, we are given a chance with Farrakhan. Today, we are given a chance with 10, 10, 15 to make our word bond and prove that we are not history hypocrites. That if we say we would have been with them yesterday, yet one man is all of them today, then wouldn't it make sense that we should be with Farrakhan in DC 1010? Well, I want to see you in 1010, 15 in Washington, D.C., and the cry is justice, justice. Are you going to be there, brothers and sisters? Justice. From this day forward, we need you to propagate it. And then on that day, we need you to participate. That's what it's all about, propagation and participation. And if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, if in your mind enough is enough, join Farrakhan, a man of integrity, a man of honor, a man of love, a man of sacrifice, a selfless human being that God has given us as a special gift to you and me. Let's join him 10, 10, 15 in Washington, D.C. Thank you so much, brothers and sisters, for listening. I greet you in peace. All praise is due to Allah. Thank you so much, sisters and brothers.